A woman in Texas noticed a little boy entering her garage and decided to install a camera to investigate. The next day, when she reviewed the footage, she was shocked by what she discovered. Eleanor Wilson, an elderly resident of Rollingwood, Texas, lived in a peaceful neighborhood. Her husband Ron frequently traveled for work, leaving Eleanor alone in their spacious three-bedroom house. Eleanor often heard noises in the garage during the evenings, but Ron assured her that the area was safe. However, Eleanor still felt uneasy. To ease her concerns, she asked Ron to get a dog. Reluctantly, he agreed, and they welcomed a friendly golden retriever named Kilpie into their home. Although Kilpie wasn't a guard dog, he provided companionship and would bark when strangers passed by. One day, as Eleanor was reading in the living room, she heard whimpering sounds. Curious, she cautiously approached the back of the garage and opened the door, only to find Kilpie lying on the floor, looking back at her. Perplexed, Eleanor asked Kilpie if it was him making the noise. She dismissed it as her imagination, but she did notice that the front of the garage door was open, presumably left that way when her son had driven his car out. She went back to her reading and tried to block it out of her mind, but the very next day she would have her first piece of evidence that something strange was going on. She happened to be sitting by the window of the living room and caught a glimpse of a little boy running towards her garage. "Hey," she yelled, but the boy couldn't hear her through the glass once again. She made her way to the garage. She opened the back door, made her way through the garden, and pushed the garage door button. But by the time the door finally opened, there was nobody there. "Where is that boy?" she thought to herself. When her son David arrived that evening for dinner, as he often did, she told him about what had happened. At first, he thought that his mother was beginning to lose it. He recommended that she see a doctor and have some checks, but as it became clear how sure Eleanor was, David offered another solution. "There is one thing you can try," he said before explaining to his mother how cheap and easy it is to install security cameras these days. Eleanor was baffled like the cameras at the local bank. She asked. The more her son explained, the more she realized that it might actually be a good idea. She already had a computer and internet, so why not connect it to a camera in the garage and finally get to the bottom of it? David left that night, but not before ordering a camera to be installed the next morning for his mother. Once it was all set up, the man who installed it showed Eleanor how it worked. It was incredible. You could watch the garage in real time or scroll back through the last 24 hours, but she wasn't ready for what the camera was about to catch. When she looked back at the tape the next day, she scrolled to the time in the evening that she had seen the boy last, and there he was again, cycling on a little red bike before coming to a halt right in front of her yard. That's when he dropped the bike to the floor and came running towards the garage. It looked like he was coming right at the camera. Eleanor found herself grabbing the chair out of nervousness. "What is he doing?" she muttered under her breath. As he neared the camera, the boy ran faster and faster, until he was joined by Kilpie, who jumped up to welcome him. The boy bent down and embraced Kilpie, who was very calm and quiet. He didn't even make his usual barking sound. He just licked the boy's face and enjoyed his strokes. Then the boy dashed back to his bike and disappeared. Eleanor understood everything now. Kilpie had made some noises when the boy hugged him, but he was so fast that he was gone by the time she got to the garage. But who was this boy? The answer would change her life forever. She showed the video to her husband and son, and then she posted it on her Facebook page. Her son had helped her create it, and she liked to use it to connect with her neighbors. She wrote a message saying, "To all neighbors, do you know who this boy is? I want to talk to him." She was surprised when someone replied in a few hours. It was a man named Alan who lived nearby. He said he knew that red bike, and it was Vincent Russo's, a little Italian boy who lived close by. Alan sent Eleanor a private message with the family's details, and Eleanor went to their house. She rang the doorbell, and a woman in her 40s opened the door. She said hello to Eleanor, and behind her Eleanor could see Vincent hiding behind his mother. "Hello, Vincent," Eleanor said, but the little boy moved closer to his mother. "Ah, he's just a bit shy. Come in, come in," his mother insisted as they sat in their house. Eleanor explained to Vincent's mother what she had seen on her video camera. Vincent was sitting in the corner and looked guilty about what he had been doing, but Eleanor assured him that it wasn't a problem at all, and that he could come and play with Kilpie for longer if he wanted. That's when his eyes lit up and his mother smiled. She explained that their family dog had died recently and Vincent was missing her a lot. The dog was 10 years old and Vincent had known her as long as he had been alive. As his mother talked about their dog, Vincent had tears in his eyes. It was clear that the dog had been a good friend to this little boy and that he missed him a lot. Eleanor had an idea that might cheer Vincent up. You don't have to sneak in and out, you can come and play with him in the backyard anytime you want, she told the little boy. Vincent's eyes lit up in disbelief. Before he was feeling ashamed, but now he was overjoyed. Thank you so much, Vincent said to Eleanor before giving her a big hug. She promised Vincent's mother that she would take care of him and let her know whenever he was there, and over the next few years Vincent would visit Kilpie almost every day. The older he got, the less frequent he would come, and by the time Vincent was ready for college, he would only drop in on Kilpie and his parents once every couple of weeks. He did say goodbye before he moved out, but the next time they would meet each other, everything would be different. Years later, Ron lost his job. Eleanor didn't have any money, and they were being forced to sell the house just to survive. The house was sold before going to auction. At the same time, Kilpie was starting to get old, and the couple couldn't afford the medication that he needed. Kilpie would wait in the garage in the same place that Vincent used to find him. It broke their hearts. They thought that Kilpie would never see Vincent again. That was until one day Vincent dropped by unannounced. This time he was on a motorbike instead of a bicycle, but Kilpie recognized him immediately. Vincent rushed into the garage as he had done many years ago, and they hugged each other warmly. How did you find us? Eleanor asked in shock as she welcomed him inside. I have a surprise for you, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, he said cheerfully. Vincent had changed a lot. He had a beard and a muscular build and looked very healthy. Vincent said that his mother had told him about Kilpie and he had brought some medicine to help him. Ron was touched. He embraced Vincent and held him tight. They hadn't experienced such kindness in a long time, but Vincent had more to say. He told them that he had become an investor and made a lot of money, and that he was the one who had bought their house and wanted them to stay in it. Ron and Eleanor tried to decline, but Vincent wouldn't take no for an answer. He said that Kilpie and they had changed his life for the better. Without them, he wouldn't be where he was now. For the rest of Kilpie's life, Vincent visited him every day like he used to when he was young. What did you think of this story? Thank you for watching. See you next time.